Okay, so welcome in everybody. Hope you had a good week since I've seen you last and ready for this mindful movement session that we've got today. As always, just do the best you can throughout these sessions and just make sure that you're just staying focused and staying on it. And we'll go through that anyway during our next little bit here. So get yourself in a nice, comfortable position. And let's begin with some nice deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And over the next couple of breaths, just start to close down those eyes and focus in on that breathing. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Continue through. Really bring that focus into your breath. Notice how it feels when the air comes in, fills up your lungs, lifts the chest up. And notice it how it is when you breathe out through the mouth, how the shoulders relax down and you sink and your nervous system starts to calm at the same time. So just notice that flow pattern between breathing in and out and how it affects your body. In a much more relaxed state. Let's thank ourselves for being here today. As we always say, the hardest part of these sessions is turning up. So you've got over that hurdle, but now you're here. Remind yourself to stay focused throughout the session on the breathing and the movements that are coming up, and just staying with the mind in this session. Don't let it wander out into what's happening around us or what's happened before us or what's happening after us today. All we need to worry about is what's going to happen here in the next hour. So put that focus onto that. And anytime you find your mind drifting today, just bring it back to this moment and just remind yourself again. Keep that breathing going as well in this position, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And start to sit up a little bit taller in your seat if you're not already. And you can continue the breathing, but start to open up the eyes. And as you do so, we can start to squeeze the shoulders up as we breathe in, and then relax them down as you breathe out. Just forcing those shoulders to relax by just squeezing as we breathe in, shrugging them up, relaxing them down as we breathe out. Good work. Keep it going there. Just nice, simple movements. And then let's go into the same, but instead of going up and down, we come forwards and back. So I'll come to the side as well so you can see it from there. So just going to push the shoulders forwards as you breathe out. As you breathe in, squeeze them back. And go into some shoulder rotation next. So just going around nice and gentle with those shoulders. And keep the breathing going as you do so. Doesn't work. Change direction, go the opposite way. Good work. Just nice, easy, gentle circles round as you're continuing the breathing here. And let's do that a little bit more with the hands on top of the shoulders now as you start to rotate round. Coming forwards here to begin with, just going nice and round. And remember, you've got some adaptations if you need it. You can put your hands lower if you can't put them quite up on your shoulder, or you can float around a little bit. You can do both arms together. You can do single arm, alternating arms. The choice is up to you. Just find what works for you just to get those elbows going round as well as the shoulders. Good work, everybody. And then let's change direction and go the opposite way now. You'll feel a slight difference in the direction to which you go. I certainly feel a little bit more of a stretch in the chest as I go backwards, but as I go forwards, I tend to get a little bit more in the back. So just notice that how it's affecting your body as you're doing it. Don't just go through the motions. Notice what's happening. Understand it as you do it. Go and feeling the stretch, feeling the mobility. Good. Okay. So with this one, it's a little bit different than what we've done before. So I want you to put one hand out and put palm up, the other one coming out and palm down. And then we're going to rotate round one side and then round to the other. Now, some of you may find it difficult to hold your arms out like so. If that is the case, you can either just do it one arm and twisting it round and back, or you can do it with a slightly bent arm as well, just rotating it round, just like so. So I don't mind what it is, but if you get your wrists or your hat palms facing up and down, so even if it's in closer as well, that's also fine. But just rotating it around, and when you do this, you feel a little bit of a stretch all the way up the forearm, sometimes into the right up into the shoulder, and all the way along. And keep the breathing going there. And again, you can have your arms out straight, or you can have them in narrow if you need to. Or just a single arm as well. Yeah, bring the hands down and bring them together now. We're going to bring the arms up, through, and around and down. We're going to repeat through that motion here, just coming up and through. Keep the breathing going. I like to do it where when the palms come together, I breathe in as I lift up. And then as I reach out, breathe out and around. And again, with this as well, if you can't get all the way up with the arms, just come up, even if it's just a head height, even if it's just a chest height, wherever you can get to, get those arms going around the best that you can, opening up that chest. Work, easy movements here. And now let's change our direction. So going the opposite way around now, coming up and around, and then down through the middle. Good. Now we're going to do it on a more horizontal plane where we push out forwards, then we can come out and around to the side, almost like we're swimming breaststroke here, and pushing it forwards again. We could do this both arms, out and around, or we can do this alternating hand. So you just do one out forwards and around. You may find that easier if you struggle with the balance because you can rest with one hand, push that one out forwards, and then around. Again, I'll leave that up to you which works best for you, either both or just the one. And just reach forwards the best that you can do, even if it's just a short range of motion. You might find that going forwards, you can only get a little bit of distance, but out to the side, you may be able to get further. So if that's the case, just go the best that you can do with this. Yeah, let's do the same, but in the opposite way now. It's coming out and around, and then into the middle. Let's do slight variation on that. So instead of coming both arms, we're going to come one arm, we're going to come across our body and then reach it all the way around to the side. Then we'll reach across with the other hand and then round. And with this, I almost like to imagine that I'm skimming my hand on the top of water. So it's nice, gentle, rippling the water with my hand there. But just reaching out the best you can, even if it's a small range of motion. That's fine. You may find that maybe in one direction you can only get a little distance, but in the other you can get a lot, whatever it may be. Just try to do the best you can in whichever position that is. Keep the breathing going as well. If you've trailed off from that, just bring it back in through the nose, out through the mouth. Continue these arm movements here. That's just going to really help us to tap into that parasympathetic nervous system, the one that helps us to relax. Yeah, bring it back into the middle. Let's just go into some shoulder rotations again here. Change direction. Good work. Okay, we're going to go into a little bit of stretching. The first one we're going to do is reach over to one side, hold it there for 1, 2, 3, then coming back over to the other side, holding it for 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go back and forth between the two. It's nice, easy stretches, holding for about 3 seconds, and then going over to the other side again. And I'll let you count your 3 seconds. And maybe if you want to do more like 2 seconds, that's fine. If you want to do more like 5 seconds, that's fine as well. And if you can't reach the arm up and over the top, I know most of you already know your adaptation here, but you can just come just less high, just coming across the body, just reaching the best you can. So feel as much of a stretch as you can there. Nice work. Let's bring it down. We go into opening up the chest. Bring those arms behind us. And then either reach both or one arm forwards. Bringing it back. And if you're doing both arms, continue doing both arms. If you're doing one, switch the arm over and go back and forth between alternating those hands. Really feel as much of that stretch as you can, both in pulling those arms back, open up that chest, feel that stretch. Should feel it sort of at the front of the armpit area, the top of the chest. That's normally where you tend to feel it on this. And as you reach forwards, you'll feel it in the back of that shoulder, pulling across there. Bringing it back in. Some shoulder rotations again, just to ease out of that. Change direction. And let's go back to some breathing exercises here again. So we're just going to, first we'll go nice deep breath in to begin with, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then we can bring some arms into it as well. So as you breathe in, lift the hands up to around the chest height. As you breathe out, turn them over, push them down. Good. Now, this next part, we're going to continue doing what we're doing, but we're going to do at least the best we can. So as we breathe up, when we push down next time, we need to come slightly out more diagonally. Then you bring it in, and then go a little bit more diagonally out. Then bring it in again. And then arms out to the side this time. And this one, some you may struggle with, but coming slightly above that parallel now. Bringing it in, and then pushing up a little bit more. And then directly above our head. Good, and then doing the same in reverse. So coming out to the side. And then a little bit lower. Out to parallel. A little bit lower again. One more, a little bit lower again. And directly down. We're going to repeat through that, but just before you do, I'm going to give an adaptation, just in case you can't get the above the head ones. Then come up to the middle ones, and then work your way back down. So if you can't bring your arm up overhead, or you've got any shoulder discomfort doing that, feel free just to come up to halfway or even further. If you can do the one slightly above, and then bring it back down. So just go to where you can on this. Let's go through that again. So first of all, coming down to the bottom. And then slightly out. A little bit more. Directly out to the side. Slightly above. And a little bit higher. And directly up. Slightly out from there. A little bit lower. Out to the side. A little bit lower. Down a little bit more. And directly down. Go through it one more time. Bringing it up and then coming slightly out. Bringing it in. A little bit higher. Parallel now. A little bit higher again. And again, up and up higher. Then directly up. A little bit lower. Good work, everybody. Lower again. Parallel to the floor. A little bit lower. And again, lower. And then directly down. Good, bring it in here. Let's just go through some nice deep breathing still, just circling those shoulders around, relaxing it off. Sometimes when we do a lot of breathing with our arms up or extended, we can get a little bit lightheaded. So let's start to bring that in a little bit by getting some oxygen in, circling those shoulders around, and changing directions whenever you feel like it. And just bringing that in a little bit. Good. Alrighty. Let's have a short little hydration break if you need so, and then we'll move into our neck and spinal mobility on the next bit here. Good work so far with the breathing, the mobility work. Let's bring it into the next bit here. As I said, with our usual drill through the neck and the spine. And we go nice, easy movements. Looking up, looking down, extending the spine as we look up, flexing the spine as we come down, or the neck part of the spine anyway. So just nice, easy movements here. Breathe as you go through this as well, making sure that you're just continuing nice, deep breaths. Just go with whatever feels natural. And then the next time you find yourself looking down, let's just hold that position there and just let gravity take over a little bit. Stretching out the back of the neck. And let's ease out of it. Let's go a couple of looking up and downs. And then next time you find yourself looking up, let's hold that position. Remember, if you want to increase that stretch, we can start with keeping the mouth closed. And then we can increase it a little bit more by putting the hand on the sternum and gently pulling down, stretching out the front of the neck there. And in this position as well, if you want to go slightly side to side, feel what works for you here. Good. Ease out of it. Do a couple of looking up and downs again, just to bring yourself out of it. And then let's go into our rotation next, looking one side and then the other, back and forth between the two. Good work. Nice, easy movements. No need to rush anything here. Just go with whatever feels like you're under control the entire time. Next time we find ourselves looking to the left now, let's hold it there. And remember, if we want to increase that stretch, we can take our left hand around about the right collarbone and gently pull it diagonally downwards towards our right armpit. I'll repeat that: left arm on the right collarbone, gently pulling it downwards as we look to the left. And that's going to increase that stretch in that neck. And ease out of it there, looking left and right. And the next time you find yourself looking to the right this time, let's hold it there. And then if you want to increase it further, right arm on the left collarbone, gently pulling it diagonally downwards towards that left armpit. Repeating that there. The right arm on the left collarbone, gently pulling it diagonally downwards towards the left armpit. As you've got that head rotated to the side, that's going to help increase that stretch, even if it's just a little bit. If you're not feeling it, you may want to play around with your hand position. Out to it there, a couple of looking lefts and rights. And then let's go into our lateral flexion. So one ear to one shoulder, to the other shoulder, back and forth between the two. Good work. Next time we find our left ear on our left shoulder, let's hold it there. And then we can increase the stretch further by dropping that right arm down or bringing it behind us, whichever we prefer. But even just putting the arm on the lap can have a good stretch, but you can just take it a little bit further by dropping that arm down and pulling it downwards. Yeah, let's ease out of it. Couple of lefts and rights. And then the next time you find your right ear on your right shoulder, holding it there, dropping that arm down or behind you if you want to increase that stretch. And just breathing into it as well. Helps to just relax that stretch as you go into it. But let's ease out of it now. A couple of lefts and rights. Good work. And let's just give our shoulders a little circle as well as there. Sometimes it's just nice just to ease out of that transition. Good. Let's go into the rest of our spine now. So we start with a flexion extension and we go pulling ourselves through or curling over. Remember, you've got two options here. You can do it just like I'm doing it by using the frame to assist, or you can use your backrest and just sit up nice and tall, slightly backwards, and then curling forwards. Remember, it's curling forwards, not just bending at the hips, curling over. And just go back and forth between the two. Nice, easy movements. Mine's not wanting to move very well today, at least not to start with. Yeah, let's go into some rotation now. So rotate round to one side, around to the other, back and forth between the two. And even if it's just a little rotation, that goes a long way. So just even if it's just a small amount of movement, that can really, really help. Yeah, let's go into lateral flexion now. So reaching down to one side, down to the other. You don't have to get all the way to the floor. Just get curling over to one side and the other. That's just going to help to mobilize that spine. And then let's bring it around in a circle now. Change direction. Good, and then let's do another little shoulder rotation. Sort of wiggle, whatever you want to do, just to ease out of that transition. Good work, everybody. If you want to grab another drink, feel free to do so now. And whilst you do that, I'll explain what we're going to be doing next. We'll do some of our Tai Chi like movements next. We're going to keep it nice and relaxed for today's session and fairly easy with the mobility. We already did quite a bit of breathing and mobility, but we're going to continue that theme with our Tai Chi like movements today. So when you've had your drink and you're ready to go again, let's just start bringing the hands up to around about eye level and then bring them back down. Link the breathing in as well, wherever it feels comfortable. Just up and down to start with. Yeah, let's come up to the left. Back down. Up to the middle. Back down. Up to the right. And back down. Back to the middle. Left. Middle again. Keep that going so it's up to the left, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right, middle. Continue that going in your own times. If you want to feel like you want to go slower or even a little bit quicker, but just make sure you're under control the whole time. So just let you go in your own pace there. And with this as well, I want you to imagine your hands are really flowing through this movement. We don't want to go jerky movements like we're a robot. We want to go nice, fluid movements, almost imagining like you're drifting your hands through water. That's how I like to picture it here. We can start to bring it in other parts of the body as well. We can move our core along with it, even involve our shoulders slightly. So maybe even a slight shrug as we bring the arms up and then shrugging it down, just as long as everything's flowing nicely. Okay, now what we're going to do is bring it up to the left, and then we're going to drop the left hand down to around about our waist height. We're going to come across the body. We're going to go one, then we're going to swap over, and then we're going to come across again, two, and then cross again, and then three. Good. When we come down to the right side this time, we come down to the right, and then back up the right. This time the right arm will drop down, left arm's up still, we drift across. One. Swap the hands. Two. One more. Three. Down to the left side. Back up the left side. Left arm drops down. Drifting. One. Two. This one can be a little bit achy in the arm, so if you need to take any break at any point, feel free to do so. But if you feel like you've got it and you can do it in your own time, feel free to go ahead. But I will keep demonstrating. Both arms up to the right, right arm down, drifting over to the left. Swapping the arms. One more time. Down to the left. Back up the left. Left arm comes down, drifting across. One. Change arms. Two. Three. And down. Good work, everybody. So just nice, easy movements here. Good work. The next one, we give ourselves a little bit of a break in the shoulders. So don't feel like you need to start it straight away, but we start with one hand up. Then we bring the other hand to it, and then we drift it over to the other side. And then we bring the other hand to that. And then we bring that hand back again. So I'll do it with the hands as I'll say which hands we're going to use. So we start from the beginning again. So both hands over to the left side. And then we take our right hand and draw it over to the right side. Then the left arm comes to join it. And then it goes back again, the left hand. Now the right arm comes to the left arm. And the right arm goes back again. Left comes to the right. Left goes back. Now right comes to the left. And goes back. Left to the right. And back. Right to the left. And back. And just keep repeating through that moment. If you need to just rest your hands down, it is quite hard on the shoulders. Feel free to do so. Or even if you feel like you need to reduce the range of motion, we could just shorter range of motion if that's fine. But just keep it going nice, relaxed, staying focused. And then bring the hands down to the side. Good work, everybody. Let's just go into some more shoulder rotations again. I'm just paying extra focus on this, mainly for myself. My shoulders are a bit achy today, so I need lots, so I added it into the session. But it's always good and beneficial to do lots of movement in this. Let's change direction again. Good work as we start to go into the meditation part of our session today. So We are going to get ourselves nice and comfortable. So, if you want to take a drink before we do this, feel free as well. So just get yourself in a nice, comfortable position wherever you are, and just start breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then close your eyes down whenever you're ready to. Good. So I want you to almost picture how you're sat with your, so keep your eyes closed, but I want you to almost imagine that your eyes are open in this position. You can almost see yourself sat in the position you're in. Know where your arms are, where your legs are, how your feet are situated, and just sort of get an idea of how you feel in this area. Just notice all of your body here. Good. Okay, so keep that focus there for now. Keep the eyes closed and keep the breathing going as well as we go through a body scan for today. To do this, we're going to all do it all together. I'm going to be guiding you every step of the way. But start from the top of our head and go to the tip of our toes, scanning in, checking with each part of our body as we go. So just check in with the top of our head first of all and see how it feels. We're not necessarily trying to fix anything. We may do a little bit of diagnosis as we go through as to maybe why we feel certain ways. But all we're doing mainly is checking in and seeing how we feel. So start with the top of the head as we already are, and then bring it down into the forehead and the eyes. And I'll give you some examples of how to focus and make notes in your mind about this. So at the moment, I've got maybe a little bit of a headache, and but that's probably mainly dehydration. Probably need a bit of a drink, and just some headache. There was a lot of sun today, so that might explain it as well. So just having an awareness of why it may feel this way, giving it a move or wiggle, however it is, and then moving on into the eyes area, which are feeling pretty good. I must be well rested at least. And just make your own mental notes. Like yours aren't going to be the same as mine or all the same as anybody else in this class. So just make some notes as we come down now into the jaw and the mouth area and just noticing how it feels. Good work. Okay, we're going to bring that focus now in round to the back and into the top of our neck. So we did some neck mobility as we always tend to do here. So it's probably feeling maybe a little bit tired from that, but also quite mobile. That's what I always seem to feel at the end of these sessions, especially after doing what we've done. So let's bring it down the base of the neck now, and then going out through the shoulders. We can shrug them, we can rotate them with a wiggle, and just notice how they feel. Is there any clicks, any clunks, any pain, any discomfort as you move them? Just notice it, make a mental note, and notice, oh, is it always like that? Is it extra painful today, or what? Or is it feeling extra good today? We're just making these mental notes and just maybe trying to figure out why they feel that way. Let's go down through our arms now into our biceps and our triceps, and we can mobilize our elbow and feel how they are feeling. For me, they are pretty good today. So moving down into the forearms and the wrists, which have been taking a little bit of abuse recently in these joints, just from lots of pushing of the wheelchair and that. So just making sure that I'm aware that they're not extra painful with that, and whatever that may be for you as well. I'm just giving you my footnotes of what I'm thinking about as I go through, and you may be thinking about something different or something similar. It's just to help guide you on what the sort of thoughts we want to have. Let's bring that focus now back up into our spine, and then we can start to maybe wiggle side to side, back and forth, and just see how it feels. Again, it could be quite fluid because we've done all the movements, but again, it might be a little bit achy as well. Bring it down now into our hips and just notice how they are. And if you're like me and you can't feel this area, that's okay. We can still put the focus and the attention and see if anything comes back as we send those signals down. Maybe we'll try and wiggle our hips side to side, which may be just wiggling the wheelchair, but we can give them a little bit of a wiggle maybe and see if there's any restrictions or any comfort, discomfort, whatever it is in that area. Let's bring it down now, our upper legs down into our knees and see how they are. Again, you may need to manually move them. You may be able to move them by yourself. Whatever the case is, just notice how they feel and move down now through our legs into our ankles. And this is definitely an area that I can't move, but I can send the focus and the energy into the ankles, the feet, the toes, and see what comes back to me on that. Good work. Let's turn our attention right the way down to the tip of our toes. And I want you to imagine each time we do a breath in this guided next bit here, that you're filling your body with bright white light all the way from the tip of the toes all the way up to the top of the head. Each time you do a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, it starts to dissipate again. So when you're ready, breathing in, breathing out. And again, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And keeping the eyes closed there, because we've got a few more minutes here for today's session. We're going to go into a little bit of box breathing. So keep the eyes closed or open them if you feel more comfortable. And we'll just go through some breathing. So the way we do this is breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then hold the breath out for 4 seconds and repeat through that. So to get started for that, let's all first breathe out, and then we start to breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. Now breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4. And bring your breath back to normal here. Nice deep breathing here. And whilst we're here, just with our eyes closed or open, it doesn't really matter too much. Just thank yourself for being here for this session today. Over the last almost an hour here, we've been really good at focusing on the breathing and the mobility, working through the shoulders and the stretches and the breathing. Everything we've done has really helped to relax that nervous system down and calm us and send us into the next few hours with a bit of serenity in our mind. So if you want to give yourself a thank you for turning up, for putting the effort in and making sure you're here, and especially if you're here week after week, that's really good commitment. So just thank yourself for doing that however you want to, whether it's a pat on the back or a round of applause. And when you're ready to, if you haven't already, you can start to open up the eyes. We can give ourselves a bit of a wiggle as we come back to the room and finish today's session. A little bit early on the session, that one today, but very good work. Lots of good movement, lots of good flowing.